Welcome, everyone. We are live. Today is Tuesday, and we're ready for the day. We're going to talk about walking the path and knowing the path. That's a famous line, from The Matrix. He goes, soon you'll know the difference between walking the path and knowing the path. But do we know what that means? Do we understand it? Because it has to do with the application of the principles. Knowing how to apply the principles, knowing that the principles exist, and actually applying them on a daily basis. Now that's walking the path. If you are going through the day and you notice, wait a minute, I'm feeling a particular way. And a thought crosses your mind and you start to go wherever it is that you're going in your mind. And you're like, wait a minute, this is not where I want to be. I don't want to have these kinds of thoughts. And so when you discover you don't want to have those kinds of thoughts, you say, I know how to change this. And you do it right there and then so that you go on through the day and you didn't have that thought again. See, that is walking the path. You knew what to do and you did it. You knew what to do and you did it. That is walking. That is walking. But if you just simply know it, which means sometimes we can pay lip service. Sometimes you just say things and you're like, yeah, well, I know that's what it is. Yeah, I know that's what it is. But you don't do it. There's a little scripture that says, I'm going to paraphrase it. To him who knows what to do and doesn't do it, it is a sin. You see, when we hear the word sin, we think, bad boy, bad girl. You did something wrong. That's what we think of sin. When in actuality, sin is you did not accomplish what you set out to accomplish. You missed the mark. Okay? That's what it means to sin. You just missed the mark. And it's okay. You step away, you evaluate, and you do it again. Why? So that you can accomplish the task that you set out to do. You're not supposed to miss the mark. Right? So what is the difference between walking the path and knowing the path? Knowing does not involve any action. Walking the path means you know and you are doing. Period. You know, and then you're doing. Versus just knowing. There is no doing. You just know. I know what to do. Oh, I know what to do. I did do that. We don't stop doing it. Hello, Isa. We don't stop doing things. Doing is an effect. Doing is an effect. So what's the cause? You saying who you are, right? You are the determining factor. That's probably not what you want to hear, is it? But it is what it is, right? You see, so many of us say, yeah, I know, I know, I know. My grandmother would always say, well, then do what you know. That is the difference between walking the path and knowing the path. The action involved. And are you doing it? Look at your life. Where are you now? What are you doing? Simple enough question. If you say, I don't like this scenario, one does not complain about the scenario. I know. I complain too. Because depending on the situation, sometimes I forget myself. And I go, why is this happening to me? Blah, blah, blah. And as soon as I say, why is this happening to me? I say, oh, oh my. That's why it's happening to me. Oh, snap. And then I change my mood right there. So you change the mood. Change the mood. You see, we think sometimes that changing the mood means we have to go from angry to happy. No. The mood. How do you want to feel? How do you want to feel? Then this is where you start. How do I want to feel? How do I want to feel? This is where we start. You take responsibility for how you want to feel about any situation. And the more you practice deliberately paying attention to how you want to feel, you will realize that now naturally you're always checking and you will change accordingly. But you're not changing according to the outside. You're changing according to the inside, how you want to feel. This is the difference between knowing and walking the path. Right? You see, we take it for granted so many times. We literally take it for granted. And we take it for granted because, you know what? It is very easy to take something or someone for granted. But they're always there. So when something is always there, you become so used to it that you don't see when it changes because you're just used to that thing. This is why we end up taking people, or how we end up taking people for granted. Because we see them all the time, and that's what we do. So to prevent yourself from taking something or someone for granted, to prevent that, you check yourself. You know that you're not alone. You know that someone did something to assist. Mhm. You recognize them. You always acknowledge them. This is how you prevent yourself from taking someone for granted. Acknowledge them. But in order to do that, you realized you just practiced acknowledging your mood. And once you start practicing the acknowledgement of what is going on around you, you don't fall blindly into the pattern or the rhythm. Hmm. See? So today, are you walking the path? Meaning, are you catching the undesirable and, I love this word, transmuting, taking it from one form and remolding it into another, right? The more you practice that, now you're doing it, which means you're walking the path. Does that make sense to you today? I trust that it does. I trust that it does. Because too many of us just simply say, I know, I know, I know. It's like the reason why you have nothing to fear. Who just determined how they wanted to feel? You did. So if you said, I want to feel dot, 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 and you know that when you feel something like that, you know that it's taken root and you know you have to reap what you've sown and you will feel that way because the body responds and makes you feel that way right now. Not later. It makes you feel that way right now. So you see what you've done. You recognized what you didn't want and you applied the principle to become what you wanted to become. Hmm. Sounds like walking the path. Hmm. Think about this. What are you doing? Are you constantly doing a particular thing that you enjoy? Or are you doing something that you're complaining about? If you remain doing what it is you're doing, especially if it is something that you know doesn't make you feel good or doesn't make you happy, or do you know what I'm saying? And you say, oh, I need a change. And you start to do that new thing. Well, the more you deliberately do that thing, now you are deliberately forming a habit. And when you deliberately form a habit, you don't fall into things blindly because you know what you've done, which means you're walking the path. But here's the kicker. You can't not walk the path. Wait, what? How do you mean I can't not walk the path? A pathway opens up based upon the what now? Choice that you select. That's how the pathway opens. So as you go through the day, whatever path you're on is the right one. Oh, Oh, but what if it isn't, Angela? Then you ask yourself, do I want to continually experience this thing? Hmm? You want to deliberately, meaning you catch and you say, whoa, wait a minute, this is what I want to become. And naturally an action will occur. You will do the thing. The pathway that opens up is the only pathway that could open up because of your choice. And who did the choosing? Your mental attitude does the choosing. I trust that it makes sense to you, right? So when you hear that, I'm going to say it to you again, that scripture, to those who know what to do and don't do it, it's a sin, right? So the scripture says, I paraphrased. If you know what to do, but you don't do it, you miss the mark. If you know it and you apply it, your chances of accomplishing the task are considerably higher than if you just know but don't act. Because in the acting, you get to see yourself, right? Practice it and you'll see what I'm saying. But Angela, I don't know that I can. I was in a room on Saturday on Twitter, and someone quoted the famous quote that says, if a man says he can't and a man says he can, then they're both right. Why are they both right? Why are they both right? Because they are doing what is within. I can't do it. So then opportunities arise that show him he cannot do it. So he's right. But the one who says, well, yes, I can do this. This is a breeze. He will follow through and he will do. Right? So that's what I mean when I say you cannot ever get the principles wrong. You can't get them wrong. That is a great comfort to know that you are always in alignment. Always. Perhaps you didn't know, but if you don't know, now you know. So walking the path means you are doing the quote unquote work, which is what? What work are you doing? You are doing the mental work. You're doing the work. What is the work? Getting your mental attitude to be what you want it to be. And you will notice to get your mental attitude to do what it is you want it to do. Do you force it? Square peg, round hole, do you force it? Nope. You don't force yourself to do anything. Because naturally, based on the mood, you can only do that action. So choose the mood. How do you want to feel? You say, but Angela, I don't know how I want to feel. Well, what is the present situation? What is the present situation? Is it making you feel antsy? Well, then you'd want calm. What is your present situation? And your present situation will tell you what the solution is. So if you say, oh, the problem is I'm hungry. Oh, it's not to tie your laces. You're hungry. You got to eat. Right? I trust that it makes sense because now you can apply the principles. Angela, how do I apply the principles? Step one, recognize that you're always applying them anyway. Is cause and effect not always around? Oh, it flipped the sun that says back in 5 minutes? No, it's always here. So you know that, don't you? It's always there. So you acknowledge what's presently going on. And once you acknowledge what is presently going on, you will know what the next step is to take. Naturally. If you say, my present problem is I'm hungry, well, one of us is going to eat something. And it'll be more than likely you because you're the one who acknowledged your hunger. Yeah, but how do I apply that to my purpose, Angela? As always, the purpose has not gone anywhere. We've just muddied the water so we can't see the purpose because we think the purpose is something far-fetched. When the purpose is just right before your eyes. You choose your purpose. What? You mean I choose my purpose? Indeed you do. You change and you choose it. How do you choose it? By recognizing what you're doing. You see, you could be doing something and you realize, wow, I'm really good at this. How can I bring it to the world? That's the question. What can I do to bring it to the world? And an idea starts to formulate because the question is, how can I spread it? Then you begin to discover platforms where you can spread it through. So you're not just knowing the path, you're walking it. By doing what? Recognizing and acting according to what you recognize. Because you can only get it right. You can only get it right. Even if you say, why is this always happening to me? Even if you say that, what is always happening to you? And you name it. Like, yeah, that's always happening to me. Ah, okay. Well, there's something that's you're doing that's in the same nature as that example on the outside. And when you look at it, you say, oh my goodness, I do, don't I? I was scared of not getting it right, so I didn't try. You see, when we use that word try, I don't know what to do. I've been trying everything. Yeah, we've been trying everything other than doing what? Following the steps and doing them. Step one, who or what do you want to become in the world? Always start there. It always starts with the self and it moves outward. Right? That is step one. Step two. Now, what would you be doing? What would you be doing if you did become the thing you said? You would be doing something, right? Do you know what it is? Of course you know what you'd be doing. Well, how else would you know you accomplished step one? How else would you know you became? Because there's a particular something that you would naturally be doing. You're not going to be doing something far-fetched. You're going to be doing something that is natural to express the thing you said you wanted to become. For instance, you wanted to become a doctor? Well, then naturally you'd be doing what? You'd either be in school or you'd be in an internship, would you not? Naturally speaking. So what naturally would you be doing that confirms to you you are the person you say you want to be? See? And you're going to go through a whole bunch of scenarios, but you're going to land upon one of them that makes the most sense for you. That's most natural to you. And then you begin to rehearse it. I told somebody yesterday, if you want somebody to stop bugging you, stop arguing with them in your head. Oh, we always are having these inner conversations. What's the tone of the inner conversation? As within, so without. So when you say, oh, I know, but you don't do anything to curb that inner conversation, you're not walking the path anymore. You're just knowing it now. You see, so step two that we do naturally when we start to entertain either the best case scenario or the worst case scenario. See how we're always doing it? The moment you catch yourself playing out a scenario in your mind's eye, catch it. What scenario is it that you're playing out? What are you doing? That. Because that's what we naturally do. We say, oh, but what if that happened? Oh, what if this happened? No. Wait, what if that happened? Next thing you know, you selected what you wanted to happen in your worst case scenario. Well, worst comes to worst, I would do this. You can't tell me you've never said that. Man, if worst comes to worst, I'd do this. But you see how you selected the action that you would do? The evidence that you would do if the worst case scenario happened? Didn't you bring it to life? Now go back and do it the other way. What if I did this and this happened? Oh, but wait. Okay, look. What if I do it this way and then this happened? And I don't like that one either. Okay, wait. If I do it this way, oh yeah, oh, I like that one. That's the one I like. Because if that happened, I would do this. You see how we choose step two? Naturally. And then naturally, step three comes along and says, oh, that does make you feel good, doesn't it? And then you begin to rest in the knowledge of what you have done. You become peaceful about what you've done. Why would you become peaceful? Did you have to force the peace? No. The peace occurred naturally. Why? because you knew and you know that if I do this, this is going to happen. So then you walk in the peace of it, the peace of mind, knowing who you say you are, you're becoming it. That's what you do day in and day out. And that's what we do naturally. It is what we do naturally. Right? So I trust that it makes sense to you today to walk the path. Don't just know it. That's like saying, oh, your change is dot, dot, dot. Your change is 65 cents. I know your change is 65 cents. But if I keep the change, I'm just knowing. Well, if I keep the change, I'm just knowing. But if I give you your change and your receipt, then I just walked. I just did what I knew. I didn't just say, oh, yeah, well, that's your change. Have a good day. What? No, you follow through. Anyway, I have prattled on enough. Who's spending time with us this morning? K Frame and Issa. There's a few of you there in these YouTube streets, but you guys have only you the ones who made yourselves known in the chat. Hello. Who's with us on Twitter? The replay gang. Because Twitter is as Twitter is. But that doesn't mean I stop. Because I go back and I check and you can see how many people tuned into the recording. If the recording wasn't there, they wouldn't have anything to listen to. Right? So you stay faithful. See, I know that. I know that I need to be consistent. Well, then let me be consistent. Because then if I am consistent in my actions, what am I doing? I am walking the path. But if I just, well, somebody says, well, you know what? Persistence pays off. Consistency pays off. Yeah, that's cool. I know. And you do not do what is consistent. Well, then you're just knowing the path. You're not walking it. Fan base, we got Ray Ray, Moon, and Dolphin Duck, and Ursula. Let me pop into the chat real quick to see if there's anything in there. Grams was here. I didn't see Grams. Oh, you have to love Grams. Grams is awesome. He makes me laugh. Always helps me to lighten my mood. Like if I'm at work and I'm a little bit frustrated with something, I'm like, oh, what do I do now? Like just trying to, I will remember something. Because then I'll change my mood from one of confusion and anger and frustration to peace of mind, which says, you gotta go do this. Let's go get it done. Right? Knowing the path is to just know what to do. But walking the path is doing what you know. I do love you. And for those of you who are wondering, yes, I'll give you an update. Popcorn is a boy, and he went back to the farm last night. And of course, your girl cried. But he is with his brothers and sisters, as well as his real mom and dad. And what I heard was he was henpecked. Meaning what? The older chickens don't just know that he's different. He's new. They don't just know that. They're treating him as though he's new. They're showing him who is in control, who runs the coop, the pecking order. They're showing him that. So they don't just know, they walk the path. I keep telling you, the principles are all around us if you observe them. And your girl cried because, that's my little baby. Itty bitty popcorn, you know? But I know he will do well where he is. How can I be so sure? Because he showed me who he was. Yes, he showed me who he was. Yes. So today, my beautiful friends, don't just know the path. Don't just know a thing. Do what you know. Don't just know it. Walk it. If you know what to do, then do it. It's like mathematics. You you know these things. You know the numbers. You know the times tables. So then, if you're out at the store and you've got a certain amount, you're going to shop within those parameters. So you're doing what you know. You are applying the fact that, hey, this is what I have. Let me use what I've got. That's walking the path. And this is what we do every day, all day. We know and we do what we know. And what we don't know, what we don't know will show itself so that you can learn it. You get it? What you don't know will show itself. What happens from there? Because then when you see it, you say, oh, snap, I didn't know that. And then you learn. Yoda Green is in the house. So you see, my beautiful friends, we are always walking the path that we have selected by way of our mood. We are always walking the path that we have chosen. Whether we have chosen it deliberately or not, here's a quick question for you. If you're driving and you look to the left, to the left, to the left, if you look to the left as you're driving, where does the car go? What direction does the car go in? Left. The car will go where you look. Whether or not it was deliberate. If you know how we call it rubbernecking, you're looking at something that happened and then the car starts to go in that direction. Deliberately, you chose it by rubbernecking. Oh, I keep telling you, we walk the path every day. Every day. And sometimes we choose deliberately, and other times we choose unwittingly. See that? Wherever you point your eyes as you are driving is where your car will go. So in your life, it is exactly the same thing. Where you turn your attention, your eyes towards, is where you will go. Remember that. You see, so we're always walking the path. But the question is, did you know that that's what you're doing? Listen, I'm not going to preach. I know because he's not awake yet. A little bit's not awake. He's in the room across the hall with Lady. And so he hasn't started to sing yet for the morning. He hasn't started yet. So that's why we didn't hear him. But as you go through the day today, know, know, know that what you are doing is what you have either deliberately chosen or unwittingly chosen. But the path is before you and you're on it. But if you want to put a fork in that road, you're going to have to make a different choice of mood. Anyhow, I love you all. And I will see you tomorrow. I thank each and every one of you for coming and being here and spending time with us. Because I know sometimes sometimes we'd rather be sleeping in. Trust me, I know, because I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. It took a lot out of me yesterday to just let popcorn go. It took a lot. And I got some pictures of him as well as he's in his new habitat. And so I was just looking at those pictures and loving on him from a distance. That's what I did. There's my tiny baby. Oh, I miss him. But it was challenging. Emotionally, it was challenging. Even though I knew he was going to do well, that he is doing well in that space, he's no longer in my space. And that's the part. We miss things. We miss people. Right? But at the same time, as you're thinking about that special person, how do you want to feel about them? You're thinking about them? Then you wish them well. Yes. Even though it might be hard to. Because he was always jumping on his mother. His surrogate mama. So sometimes you wanted to say, such a nuisance. But put it into perspective. That's just what he has to practice to do, because as a rooster, he's going to have to jump on hens. Hello. So all he's doing is practicing what he is. So when you remember that people are only capable of doing what they say they are, he'll have more grace. Anyhow, countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Much love to each and every one of you today. Remember, you are always walking the path. You're always walking the path. Yes. Much love, everybody. Much love. Ah, Boucher. Oh, you didn't hear about Popcorn? Oh, Boucher. Popcorn is back at the farm with his real mommy and daddy and his hatchling brothers and sisters. They hatched in the incubator. He hatched with Lady. He hatched under the warm feathers of Lady. He had mama's touch, you know? But now he's in the mix. He's in the mix, and he's learning his place in that mix. Even though it is sad for me, I'm happy for Popcorn. I am. So I was rewatching a video of his last night. Oh, and I recorded it in slow motion because just the way he shook his feathers out. Spectacular. And even when you watch him now, like from the pictures I got of him last night in his new surroundings, just the way he stands. Just the way he stands with that confidence, you know? Chest out. Beautiful boy. He really is a handsome feller. Yeah. Pristine white feathers. Bright red comb and wattles. And beautiful yellow-green eyes. Oh, Popcorn is handsome. Listen, sooner or later those ladies are going to warm up to him. Don't worry. But that's my baby. And I miss him already because normally I'd be hearing him chirping around. But the house is exceptionally quiet without him chirping. So that's what makes it a little bit challenging because you miss him naturally. But I know that he's with family, so he'll be perfectly fine. Right? So he'll know the difference between knowing the path and walking the path. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Somebody's going to be singing. Good morning, handsome. Yes, my sweet boy. Anyway, don't let me keep you all with stories of my chicken shenanigans. Oh, Miss Fawn. KZ, you're here. I just turned around to see you guys there. Let me close this window because sound travels. I forgot to ferment their food last night. Ugh. I'll boil some water and make it happen. Anyhow, he lost his balance. Yeah. Anyhow, a little bit's telling y'all to have a great day because he knows he will. And I know he will too. Peace out, everybody. Peace out. Peace. I'm going to close all the rooms from here. Love you all.